What's up, everyone? My name is Untamed Mando, and welcome to Literary Souls, where we talk about literature, books, and literature-adjacent things. What's up? It is Saturday morning where I am at 10:30 in the morning. It's probably not morning for some of you. Some of you might be way early in the morning. Who knows where you all are in this world? It's been a while. It's been a while. And I apologize for not being consistent with Literary Souls. Just this past month, there's just been a lot of stuff going on personally, and I needed to just step back from a lot of things for a bit and just kind of recenter myself. But I'm doing better now. We're doing great, and I finally got done with this book. I have been it's one of those books for me. It started off really kind of slow with a lot of backstory that honestly, like, I know a lot of people really like backstory, but for me, it's not like I do like some backstory, but when the backstory just kind of drags on, it's a little What's up, Snortapoopers? Hello, humans and other critters. Hello. Hello. How you doing? I apologize for it's been a while since I've done a Literary Souls. Last one was with Elijah and Smile a while. But that was a fun panel. That's a fun panel. What is up, the lovely Laydart? Hello, love. Hello. But yeah, there was just a bunch of stuff going on in my life over the summer, and yeah, but hopefully with things calming down, Literary Souls will get back to where it's supposed to be with me doing it hopefully every week. Sometimes I might have to take a break again, but hopefully that is not going to be the norm. So yeah, just I'm still gonna be continuing on with the Halo book series for now. I did recently get the entire Witcher series, so I might be shifting to doing Witcher. Uh, but let me know what you guys think. Should I just continue along with the Halo until I'm done, or should I go ahead and shift over to Witcher? Hello, hello. How you doing, Ark? Do you want to jump on? Do you have time to jump on? Yeah, it's been a while since you've been on Literary Souls. I can send you the link. Did you set anything on fire? Um not today. Nothing today has been set on fire. Um Stream Elements, you better behave. You better behave. But yeah, anyway, let me see. I have the time. What are we talking about today? We are talking about Halo Contact Harvest, Sergeant Johnson's backstory, and I'll be honest, there were some parts that I did kind of skip through, so I could use someone to talk to bounce the ideas off. And I'm a little bit tired this morning because apparently I needed sleep, and my body was like, "Why are you awake?" Because I have to be. Because I have to be. So, yeah. All right, I DM'd you, Arkasul, so you can hop on whenever you're ready. We're gonna just kind of chit chat. I'm gonna kind of catch up with getting used to being on Literary Souls and the streaming stuff and such and things. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about Halo today and possibly a few other things if we have time. If we don't have time, then we just won't worry about it. Yes, we won't worry about it at all. Yes. So yeah, how's everybody in the chat doing? How you guys doing today? It's been a while. I'm trying to remember. Oh, my hair. My hair today is just a mess. I don't know. My hair woke up today and chose violence. And my tea is really hot. Thought that it would have enough time to cool off, but it did not. And for any of you curious, I still am not able to have caffeine right now. I'm going to be scheduling an appointment with my doctor soon, to hopefully be able to get me started to where I can drink coffee again. Fingers crossed. I am drinking a pumpkin spice tea. Why? Because I'm a basic white girl. I really actually don't care for pumpkin spice, but that's all the tea I had left because I've been drinking so much of it. I was up till 1 a.m. and slept until 10. Groggy old bear. I'm good, working and chilling and working. Very nice, very nice. It's probably like what, sometime in the afternoon for you? Like I think you're like 7 hours ahead of me. So math is hard. So I assume it's probably like 5 in the afternoon for you, maybe, possibly. Hello,
Hello?
hello.
Hello?
It's been a second since you have been on Literary Souls.
It has been.
Welcome back.
And it feels strange.
It
Because
does,
we're actually going to talk about a book this time.
right?
I think the last time I was on here, I just kind of like jumped on just to say hi and then left. I don't know.
I think so. But you are still more than welcome to hop on any Literary Souls. I asked the chat a question. Should I continue with the Halo series or should I start on Witcher? Because I have the whole Witcher series now and I'm still technically collecting more of the Halo books. What do you think? I was right.
How much left of the Halo series do you have?
A lot. At least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. At least more than 12 books.
Okay. Go to The Witcher.
Witcher?
To check
Okay.
the entire series.
All right, so next week's gonna be The Witcher. But we are still gonna. I keep trying to put this back there when I have a spot right in front of me for the book. We're gonna be talking about Halo Contact Harvest, which is basically Sergeant Johnson's backstory and how the Human Covenant War started. Oh, I lost literary sister. The lost literary sister. Yes, the lost literary sister. Yep.
Wow, the lost literary sister. I remember when it was called that, and then you had to rebrand because you brought a dude on as a co-host.
Yep.
Good times. And I don't think you've ever like. Okay, so who are the other dudes that you've brought onto the show? Like Maxter and Gibbons, I think. That's it.
I think so. He knows
everybody else.
Yeah,
everybody else is. It's been ladies. So you could have just kept
like most of the people that I know, like that like books, besides you, are ladies.
I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know what to say to that. There's a joke there. I'm too tired to recognize it.
Wow, what's up, Hokies? How you doing? What's up, America? She hasn't brought me on the show, thankfully. Maxter says, I'm no Halo person. Well, yeah, so basically this is going to be it for a while for the Halo series until I am able to gather all of the books. Next week, we're going to be switching over to The Witcher because I have the entire Witcher series and it's best to read what you have. Yeah. Ark loves reading Jane Austen. Yes.
Wait. I do? That's news to me, Americus.
What? You're not like a fan for Little House on the Prairie?
Not necessarily, but I mean, hey. That is true, Mac. That is true. I am actually, I probably woke up 20 minutes ago.
Oh,
I am extremely tired. And when you said you have to remember a book that you haven't read in fucking forever, and I was like, okay, here we go. This is where the fun begins.
It's fine. Like I didn't read in depth as I probably should have for this book because I started getting a little bored.
Yeah, and that's the thing with this book. It is a bit boring. It's not the best Halo book at all.
I agree. I didn't quite have to slog through it like I did The Flood because, like, for me, The Flood was just basically repeating everything from the first game. And so, like, for me, The Flood is still my least favorite book, but this is, I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but it's not horrible. Like, I think it's cool to find out like Sergeant Johnson's background because we know he's gonna later on. But
yeah,
he's a really cool character, and I enjoyed the parts that actually kind of furthered the plot.
I wanted to have more of Sergeant Johnson because when
right?
you play the
care
games,
about the Covenant. I didn't care about the Covenant. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's like when you play the game, Sergeant Johnson's just like he's a badass. He's a bigger badass than the Chief.
Mm-hmm.
Because
the Chief has armor.
Yeah, because when you first play Halo 1, it's like, who is this guy? Who is this dude that is going toe to toe with the Covenant and he's kicking ass? Right?
And he doesn't have the augmentations that Master Chief and the Spartans have. He doesn't have the armor that the Spartans have. Like, he doesn't have the same kind of training they had. Like, he is just a badass dude going out fighting the Covenant.
So, for me, I would give this book what? Let's see.
I give it at least a 6 because it does further the plot and it does have some good parts to it. It's just a little bit too boring for my taste.
Yeah, I was gonna give it like a 6.5, 7, something like that. Because it's like it's not D level, but it's definitely not B level.
Right. And yeah, he was part of the Orion project and stuff, but the book doesn't really go into detail about the Orion project either.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like you don't know that. Well, first off, you don't know that from Halo 1.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, you don't know that from the book either.
Right. It doesn't go into the Orion project, which is like, I was hoping that it, like, that's the thing I was excited about. It's like, oh, he was part of the first Spartans. Oh, what did they do to him to make him like this? We don't get any of that. The first bit of Sergeant Johnson that we get is he's already been in the military for a while. And he's come back to home to take care of some family stuff, which that was very tragic what happened to his aunt. But like, okay. What? Like, I don't know. Just the introduction that the book does for Johnson just kind of confused me more because I was like, wait, I thought we were going to get his backstory, his actual backstory.
I did enjoy seeing the Covenant have their own power struggles within their hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, that could have been like their own book. That could have been their own book with Sergeant Johnson as a side character. And that would have been cooler. I wanted to see Johnson go through and basically be like Master Chief. Master Chief doesn't really talk.
Mm-hmm.
Master Chief just goes in and blasts the shit out of everything. He doesn't really make a lot of decisions. He's just like, these guys are bad. Let's kill them. That's it.
Yep.
But with this one, it's like there's a lot of talking between the Covenant, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit. What was like there was the two
AIs, yeah, Sif and Mac, right? That love story was kind of fun. Like, I was like, oh, they threw in a little romance between two AIs, which is a little weird, but also kind of like, what does this mean? Is this supposed to be a precursor for Cortana? Like, what?
Yeah. It just wasn't.
I don't think they have Gigawatt.
And that's for me, that wasn't my cup of tea.
Mm-hmm.
Like the love story, I was like, why the hell did you put this in here?
Right.
Like did you just want to give credence to like AI relationships? Is that what you wanted?
Right. And like we can't say it has all of the woke garbage because this was made in 2007, like before the wokies really got a hold of anything. And so like I think they were just trying to get more females to read the book, but that's not the way to do it. Like, I'm a female. I'm like, oh, cute love story, but like, did it really further the plot?
The answer is no.
I mean, it kind of, I think what they tried to do was give you like some sort of connection with the AI where you felt bad for the ending of the book. We are going to be talking spoilers, there will be spoilers. Spoilers. So if you don't want that, I still want you to watch, but you can mute. I'm kidding. Okay. It's just the way she went out. I was like, so the last thing that she said, was like, "I love you," and he's dying too because rampancy's happening to both of the AIs.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know what rampancy is, it's when AIs basically come towards the end of their life cycle and they start going mad because they're too smart. They
start breaking down, basically.
Yeah, because they begin to overthink everything. They start questioning their own existence and the existence of everything, and they just lose their minds, and they just.
Which you see that happening to Cortana in Halo 3. That was like that was the originally what was supposed to happen, but I think they changed it to like rampancy plus she was tortured or some shit by the Gravemind, and
I think the Gravemind sped up her rampancy. I think she was supposed to start kind of going into rampancy, but I think it escalated when she got tortured. I think she could have lasted a little bit longer if she hadn't gotten tortured. Which, I mean, it's fair. It's fair.
I mean, do we count? Do we count 4? Do we really count 4?
I mean,
I like the combat in 4, but I don't really like the story in 4.
I hate.
And then of course there's the infamous Halo 5, which I absolutely despise the campaign for 5.
I think 4 was better than 5, so I would still consider 4 somewhat canon. It's 5 that it's just like, let's just eject 5. Like, 5 didn't happen.
And then there's and then they tried to like reboot everything with Halo Infinite, and I actually didn't mind.
I haven't played Halo Infinite yet. I think it's free for Game Pass. I might download it and play it.
Yeah, and I would highly encourage it. But it is a solo campaign. It is not. There's no co-op at all, which is very strange for a Halo game.
Right. So Gigawatt, to answer your question, yes, there are tons of books within the Halo universe. Like there's some that are that go back and talk about Sergeant Johnson's backstory. There's another one that I forget whose backstory, but there are others that go through different backstories of different Halo characters, different teams. Like we get to see a little bit more into Blue Team, Red Team, what's the other Halo, the Spartan 3 teams, Beta, I think it was Beta or something. But yeah, there are tons of different books out there. Like I've got at least 10 from like one of the newer series is right here on my desk. So it's a big franchise. I liked person story between Chief and Cortana and 4. Yeah, I agree. I think that I liked 4 for the fact that you kind of got it's not even, I guess it's a love story between Cortana and Master Chief. I really enjoy the question she asks, like, which one of us is the AI? Like, which one of us is the machine? And like, that's a valid question because Master Chief, his whole life has been more or less programmed like a machine.
Well, that's what the military is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. When you almost all of the veterans that I have known that have gone into the United States military have said, you go in, and it doesn't matter if you were homeless, if you had a silver spoon, if you could bench press 450 pounds, or if you couldn't even lift 5 pounds. It doesn't matter who you are. When you go into the military, they break you down completely and build you back up the way that they want. And all that they're doing when they're breaking you down and building you back up is to be able to take directions in the middle of combat.
Yep.
That's the whole point. You're supposed to be able to take directions and give directions, and if your chain of command is broken, come up with your own directions that will complete like the project
mission
that you have, the mission. That's the whole point of military training. And when you read about John 117 when he's
Mhm.
younger, they did horrible things to those children. Like
They
he was
did.
stolen. He was stolen when he was 6. He was
Oh, I
stolen
thought
when
it
he
was
was
5.
6 or 5 or 6,
5 or 6.
and then he was built up to be a super soldier.
With no
And I
emotions.
think at the end of Halo 3, I think he's like 57. I want to
Well,
say.
do you include the cryo like sleep? Because like from my understanding, you don't age during that.
Um,
Because like if he's cryogenically frozen like while he's sleeping, I thought it meant he didn't age either. So like he's much younger than he should be.
okay. All right. How old is Master Chief? Let's see.
Because the Human Covenant War lasted about 10 years. So he was like 16 when they first started like bringing out the Spartans. And he was the size of like he was more the size of a full-grown man at 16, which is crazy because the augmentations.
Yeah, the augmentations really fucked him up. Well, he had also fucked up a lot of his friends that actually got disfigured because of it.
I don't think he was in cryo for years at a time. They had a war. No, he was in cryo sleep for at least a couple of years between the second and third game, or the first and second game. It was it was the one where they thought he was dead, and then turns out he didn't actually die.
Oh no,
Yeah,
not 57, 47, because he was
47,
born in
okay.
2511, and then Halo 5, the beginning of Halo 5 takes place in 2558.
Gotcha.
So he's only about he was in his early 40s when Halo 3 takes place. But that's besides the point. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you take the age of 47 and then you subtract 6 from it. So that means for 41 years, he has been trained to be the best super soldier ever.
Mm-hmm.
And he has witnessed things that normal humans never would have witnessed.
Or never should.
Or never should have witnessed. Yes. So. And
more
also,
or less, like,
his height was 7'2".
Yeah.
So
these guys are massive. Random question: do you consider the Spartan 4 Spartans? Because I consider Spartan 2s and 3s and the Orion Project Spartans, but I'm questioning if I consider Spartan 4s and beyond Spartans.
Well, the Orion Project, the first Spartans, which is what like Sergeant Johnson was, and the main character for Halo Wars, the main character for that was he was also a you see the Orion Project Spartans, the first Spartans there. Those guys were Spartans, but they were adults when they went through the training. Spartan 2s were children when they went through the training. Spartan 3s were like a mixture. Like they were young recruits, but they were still like older people that went through the training and had their augments
Noble
done.
6 is a Spartan 3.
Yes, Noble 6 is a Spartan 3. George is a Spartan 2 from Halo Reach.
Yes. Yes, they did have a great education. Like they were very well educated. So like when we say like super soldiers, like that means they are beyond the normal soldier. Like they aren't just grunts who just take orders without thinking about it. Like on one spectrum, yes, if you are not in their chain of command, they won't necessarily take your orders seriously. But like they're able to think for themselves sometimes.
Yeah. But anyways, to answer your question of do I think Spartan 4s are Spartans? Yes, I do. simply because of what they can do
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like military expertise, physical strength, things like that. Um, I really, I think that they perfected the Spartan with the
Mm-hmm.
Spartan twos. I think that's just the end all be all. The Orion Project, the first Spartans, most of them were failures because they were an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have the Spartan twos, where the experiment was basically perfected, although there were a lot of duds. A lot of John's friends become disfigured because of the augmentations.
Mm-hmm.
So, does that mean that the Spartan 2s were the perfect ones? No, but I consider them to be the ones that succeeded, like John and his squad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that those two are the epitome of Spartans,
Mm-hmm.
whereas Spartan 3s are it's kind of like when they try to in mass producing things, you have to reduce the quality. So the
Mm-hmm.
Spartan 3s, they're not as strong. They don't have the same amount of endurance. They are just they're just strong enough to get the jobs done,
Yes,
but
they were made to be
they
expendable.
yeah, they are also easily, well, they are easier to be produced than the Spartan 2s.
Mm-hmm.
So you take a step down with the Spartan 3s. And the Spartan 4s is very similar. I don't really give a shit about the Spartan 4s, but I would consider them to be Spartans because the word Spartan means super soldier in this franchise. Now, are
This
you
is
the
true.
best super soldier? No. But are you still a advanced soldier? Yes. Could you beat the shit out of a normal Marine? Yes. So that's why I consider them to still be Spartans, even though they are lesser than like Chief and his friends.
Spartan 2s, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so as far as like the Spartan 4s, by that time they had more or less perfected the augmentation process, where it was less life threatening than with the Spartan 2s and 3s. And even the Spartan 3s, they had augmentations that were supposed to be better than the Spartan 2s, but they were also like their growth was accelerated, like even more so than the Spartan 2s. Like they were basically mass produced so they could just throw massive amounts of super soldiers at the Covenant and just hope that some of them survived.
And
Which,
and
like,
and that's what I'm talking about with like the Orion Project. There was a lot of duds there. Spartan 2, there was a lot of duds there. And what I mean by dud was the augments were not perfected. The augments really were unknown. And so it vastly crippled a major number of the test subjects. And I call
mhm.
them test subjects because that's what they are. And John is a test subject. It's just he was successful. His body accepted the augments. And I would put John up against any Spartan 3 or any Spartan 4. And I would say John is most likely going to come out on top.
I would agree. So, what would you say, was Sergeant Johnson a success with the Orion Project then? Because he's like one
I
of the only ones that we're aware of that actually succeeded.
I would say yes. uh Regardless of if he was a success or not, he still had his faculties. He still could move around. He was still healthy, and he went on to be a great leader of humanity, a great
Mhm.
military leader. So regardless if he was a scientific success, they gained a shit ton of research from him, and
Mhm.
so they use the research that they gained from Johnson and from all the other test subjects to then put forward to the Spartan 2s. And
Uh,
that's all that you really need from Johnson is like, oh, he was like the groundwork for what John
mhm.
was. And the success from John's research that he gave to them, because like his biology said that you could do this with this augment.
Mm-hmm.
That all that is research. It's all cataloged. And so John's success and his other like Spartan 2's like test subjects failures all went into Spartan 3 and Spartan 4 like research.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
all
think one
just
of
it's all just building up on one another.
It is, but I think the main difference between like say the Spartan like the Orion project, Spartan 4s, and then any Spartans after is the Spartan 2s and 3s were taken at a very young age, and I think that plays a bigger factor because they got indoctrinated at a much younger age. And when you're that young, you're much more impressionable. You're much more able to take in the information without question, without going, well, this is my experience. Like, no, it's you. This is the information. We are training you up. And I mean, it's like what they did in ancient Greece with the Spartans. Like, you were trained at a young age and they became the most elite soldiers at that time because of the fact that they were trained at a young age. So I think that's the biggest thing that differentiates the Spartan 2s and 3s from any of the other Spartan projects and the Orion project was because they were augmented and trained at a young age.
I agree. Um,
I think that's what differentiates all of the others.
The indoctrination and propaganda is necessary at a younger age because you can tell them whatever you want. Like a lot of the Orion project test subjects were, I imagine, over the age of 25, which, as we know from human biology, when you reach 25, like that's when the male brain is completely matured. That means that it's very difficult to learn brand new things. Whereas if you take a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, you can teach them English, Spanish, French, Japanese. You can teach them a wide variety of languages back then because their brain is still learning. Their brain is still absorbing things. Their brain is still growing. And so why not just take a bunch of kids and make them super soldiers?
Yeah, technically the Spartan 2s can be recreated, but it takes a lot of money because you have to train them from a young age, which I know that with the Spartan 3s they were able to kind of accelerate their aging process. Like, they're still technically children. I think some of the Spartan 3s were like 10 years old when they got their augmentations, but they looked like they were, much older. I think that if they were able to perfect the accelerated aging process, they would have been able to make a lot more Spartan 2s.
And that is why we make the distinction. The Orion project is over. They're not going to go back to the Orion project. The Spartan 2 project is over because they don't have the time anymore to take a bunch of 6-year-olds and train them from 6 to 18. They don't have the time. Like, that's the only reason why the Spartan 2s aren't being Spartan 2s. So you had to take the research and development that you had and streamline it and make it faster to replicate. That's the only reason why Spartan 3s and 4s are so quote unquote mass produced. That's it. It's very similar to the regular industry that we have nowadays.
Yeah. So they made a Super Johnson. No, Johnson, like, as we know him, has already been through the Orion project. And that was one of my kind of, I guess, biggest gripes with the novel that's technically supposed to be about his backstory, is the fact that we don't get any information about the Orion project, which is the reason, like, he's a Spartan 1. The Orion project is Spartan 1s. Master Chief is a Spartan 2, and Sergeant Johnson would be considered a Spartan 1, but they didn't say Spartan at that time. They said the Orion project. And that's the biggest gripe I have with this is
what do we get from the Fall of Reach? We get the entire backstory of John. Basically. We see him growing up. We get flashbacks of him being taken. We get his interactions with his now like pseudo parents. we don't get any of that, or hardly any of that, with Johnson. That's
the thing, Gigawatt. They don't have any flashbacks in the book either about him being in the Orion Project. Where we get is just him kind of being done with the military and realizing that his aunt dies. That's where we first start with Sergeant Johnson. He's already an adult. He's already been in the military, and they're about to ship him off to Harvest. That's why it's called Contact Harvest. Harvest is one of the Earth colonies that's mostly in charge of the food for.
Mando. Well, guys, guess what? We got the Arkasul show. Welcome in. And then we got my frozen puppet over here, Untamed Mando. How we doing, everybody? I am not prepared to talk about Halo by myself. I could show you memes, though. Would you guys like to see memes? Yes or no? Oh, I didn't do that. She left on her own. All right, well, we're gonna let me just look up Halo memes. Why not? Halo meme compilation 30. I would like to see the Arkasul show turn into a dance show. Oh my gosh. What happened? Actually, let me just, where's this? Invite, copy. Maxter, check your DMs. Let me see. We're going to make the best of a bad situation. That's what we're doing. My internet went out. Oh no. It doesn't matter. We're pivoting. We're going to pivot. Insert Ross pivot meme. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Add to the stream. Maxter, welcome.
Oh no.
How we doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. We're not going to talk about Halo. Instead, I'm just going to share memes. So send me memes in the private chat.
Oh God.
Yeah. Until Mando gets back. I wasn't prepared to talk about Halo today. I wasn't the one to have the stream about Halo.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it really is. Let's see. All right, let's see. Hold on. Okay, here we go. We're gonna share, present, share screen, share. Did I do this right? I think I did. I'm not sure. Let me move you here. Huh? Did we? Yeah, we did. Yeah. I agree.
It's all right. It's all right.
I agree. Yep. Yep. Yes.
It's all right.
It's the
Yes.
biggest piece of dog shit.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit.
Halo Infinite multiplayer. The biggest piece of dog shit. Anyways, as we were saying, Ark and Maxter Rip Mando's channel. Hey. It's
Hey,
not going to
Ark
be
is another
that
friend.
bad. It's not going to be that bad.
I don't think
Also,
I can send you
Mando,
stuff
hurry the
through the
Fuck up.
memes through the private chat, so I'll just DM some to you.
Yeah, let me open it up. Let me go here. Put you there. Wait, who's this? Who joins? Who tries to join anyway? I have too many things. There we go. Kuro! Welcome, Kuro.
What happened? Where am I?
Yeah. I have pulled you into the other dimension. Welcome.
Okay. I got hit by a truck and I'm here.
Yeah.
It's like one of them Japanese animals.
All right, here we go. Now I got another meme. I got another meme to share. We're okay. We're making it. Present, share screen, Halo meme, share. Camping. It is a legitimate strategy. We must remember.
I mean, that is a really good campground for Halo.
Well, yeah. It's not camping if you're just protecting a corner. It's just covering an angle.
Yeah, and running away is never an illegitimate strategy because it's called tactical retreating.
Is it really camping if the game doesn't even allow you to open a bag of chips and sip on some milk?
Yeah, and that's why the best camping game is Tarkov,
Yeah.
which everyone in chat should get, by the way.
Only Fantasy Tarkov.
Only Fantasy Tarkov? You mean the one that's like completed?
Yes.
Not the one that's still in beta testing and
Correct.
has been for 7 years?
Correct.
Oh, we got another meme. Let's see. Bada bing, bada boom. Share the screen. Bam.
I mean, it would be on the History Channel.
It would be on the History Channel, yeah. Yeah. Fantastic memes.
Usually when you're raging, you're in PvP. And in PvP, everyone is Sparta. Not
True.
Sparta. They're just Sparta itself. Everyone is the country, the city-state of Sparta.
The city-state of Sparta? Yes.
Yes.
If you guys are enjoying the memes and the awkward silences in between sharing the memes, make sure you hit that like button.
What happened to Mando?
I don't know what happened to Mando. Like, apparently your internet died. We were in the middle of talking about Halo, and then she went full-blown aliens, like the alien historian guy. Can we get some Rip Mando's channel in the chat, please?
Did she say some sort of classified information about the show?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Did she talk ill of the precursors?
Probably. Probably.
Did she talk about how amazing the Halo TV show was and how lore accurate it is?
Oh, it was such an amazing TV show. Completely 100% lore accurate. Not bad at all.
Correct.
Yeah, no, that show was an abomination. It should have never existed.
Guys,
Like,
I can end the stream. I don't know if I should though, because Mando hasn't even texted me what she wants done. She's just like, I'm gonna reboot the internet, and I'm like, are you sure?
It's time for the Blizzard man to ask, do you guys not have phones?
do you not have ability to DM via Discord?
No, she hasn't even done that.
Here's the thing. I
Well,
messaged
you
her.
can message
I
her
blame
and go
Art,
like,
and
hey, yo.
no, Ark. Here's the thing.
What
I
happened?
DM'd her. I blame Ark, and she responded, "There goes my channel."
She's probably just watching. Her internet is back, and she's probably just watching and enjoying you squirm for content while she reboots her shit.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm texting her, get back here. Help.
Her,
There we go.
please
I mean-
my suffering.
I can end the broadcast if she wants, but I don't know if she wants me to end it. Normally, like, we've only been going for like 47 minutes. Normally we go for like an hour and 15 or so. So this is all up to her.
Yeah.
And she's not responding. She's Does that count? Yes, it does. But we have another meme. Open the link. And shares a screen. Who would win, the most powerful alliance in the universe or some green boy? It's always the green boy. Always.
Green boy stroke.
If I've learned anything from Gibbs, it's always bet on the green boy.
Unless he's rolling dice, then oh no, that poor green boy.
He definitely got whipped almost to death. Almost to death on his first day.
Yeah, he just got whipped so hard he got knocked out.
I felt so bad for him because he was actually trying to roleplay, and then his roles just betrayed him.
Like all of you guys were just being funny boys, and Gibbs was like being the super serious guy, and all he got was fucking failure from it. Poor boy, he was so cursed.
She said, I think I'll just get back on with my phone. Oh no. We're gonna
God.
have phone Mike Mando.
I hope she at least uses earbuds or something to get better mic quality.
No, I want it to be the most scuffed possible.
Oh, it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be so bad. I don't even know where she was gonna go with the story. Like where like her talking points or whatever. I'm floating. I'm floating in the ocean right now.
I'm dying here.
I'm fucking dying.
I called for help, and the only people who showed up are people who don't even play Halo.
Yeah, man. It's like the person that I wanted to show up is still fucking deafened. Gibbs,
Like
you have
actually, I've
abandoned
only
me!
played the Halo 1. I've never even played the sequels.
I barely even played Halo at a friend's house, so clearly I'm the Halo expert.
mean,
This
I saw
is,
Disparow's reviews of the Halo show, so that counts for something.
And my review of the Halo show is I didn't watch it because I didn't care.
Oh no, I just saw the reviews. I refused to watch the show because the reviews are funny. Because Disparow's a funny man.
speaking of which,
I
this
would
is
never touch the show.
this is also when I went to sleep. This was the last scene that I saw of the movie last night. This is what I feel like right now because Mando left.
Pause every couple of seconds because copyright.
Right
I
here.
know
This is
exactly
it.
what scene we're talking about, but
Yeah, shut the fuck up. This is what I feel like. Right here. See all that? That's the YouTube comments right there. This is me. Oh! Oh!
No.
Mando,
What's
you're
up?
back!
Yeah,
It's
I am on my
Fondo.
phone.
It's telephone though.
It's yeah. Can't believe this is what we're doing. I can't see the chat. Damn it. Hi guys.
Hold on right here. Hold on right here. This is That's me right there. Flee for your lives.
Yep. Yep. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. Yep.
First so I am apparently Netflix Mando, and now we get phone mic Mando. So it's amazing. It's all amazing.
This is the best stream ever. I'm just gonna say right here. This is what we live for. You guys can see all of my setup now. Woo!
Yeah, we see the on air. We see the Boba helmet.
The underside of it. It's
Yeah.
Jetplanex isn't
the
there.
part that no one's ever supposed to see.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I can't see the chat, so let's see what comments.
So Ladart says this is the best stream ever. I am so glad in my life for this. Maxter says scuffed Mando voice quality. Let's go.
Let's
And then-
go.
And then Hokie says first Netflix Mando, now phone Mando.
Yep. This is
So
Hello.
where were we with talking about Contact Harvest? Also, my two wonderful co-hosts that joined Maxter and Kuro are also here. They don't know Halo, so they're
Hi.
probably going to be quiet.
I don't know shit. I'm going mute.
we were on sorry, I'm like holding my phone up. Basically, we were talking about how the difference between the Spartan 2s and 3s and the others. Oh no, we were talking about how we didn't like that in Contact Harvest. It didn't show Sergeant Johnson's backstory about being in the Orion Project.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I know where we're at. Yeah, I wanted to have more about like where Johnson grew up, what his life was, why did he want to go into the military, backstory, things that are actually important for like developing emotions about a character when you're reading a book. And it didn't have hardly any of that when I read Contact Harvest. Hardly any
Nope.
of that. I actually did not care about Sergeant Johnson as a person, other than this is the Sergeant Johnson from the Halo video games that are fucking amazing, that I loved growing up.
Yes.
So that's it. They really failed there, in my opinion. Which is why
I agree.
It didn't get anything higher than like a 6.5 for me. Like
Agreed.
Johnson should have like flourished in these books. Instead, he basically just is there. So
I agree. We get more of the Covenant information than Sergeant Johnson, in my opinion. Like they focus a lot. Like there's whole chapters dedicated to the internal workings of the Covenant, which, like I agree with your earlier statement, should have been a book of its own. Like give us a book on the back, like how the Covenant works. Like give it its own book. Don't put it in Sergeant Johnson's backstory,
Yep.
in my opinion.
Well, now that we finished that topic, is there anything else you want to talk about, Mando?
I think my internet's back up.
Are you? Oh my gosh.
I hate this so much.
So you're gonna back out and come back in?
Yep.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, you get Netflix Mando for like what? 2 more minutes. Let's go.
Let's go. I'll be back, guys. I'm so sorry. What a time to be alive, right? What a time.
What a time. Okay. Well, we're
It's time for
back.
filler content, bro.
Back to the memes.
Filler content part 2.
Let's go.
Oh, wait,
Locate
so-
memes quick.
Locate
Wait.
all of the memes quick.
Filler content, doesn't that mean it's literally all of Rings of Power?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't even consider
No,
that filler
that's not
content.
filler. That's
Yeah,
shit
it's
content,
literally
not
just filler.
content.
No content.
I'm literally Googling Halo memes. Oh, I heard a ping. Mando's back. Are you back?
I am back. I have
Good.
returned.
Filler content part 2 is over with. Woo!
How'd you guys in the chat like my phone mic setup? It was fabulous, wasn't it? It's great. Holy cow. How Maxter, Kura, how are you doing today? How are you guys doing?
I is doing well.
It's Saturday. Just being a lazy bum.
Very
Yeah.
nice, very nice. Sorry guys, I didn't have the hot tub ready and it came upon us. Mando, those damn raccoons, right? Like my internet is AT&T and I guess AT&T decided to reset my internet without my knowledge.
It's weird that they would do that in the middle of the day and not in the middle of the night. Because you'd imagine, oh, hey, doing it at like 3 or 4 in the middle of the night would be a much smarter idea than around noon.
Yeah, that you would think. Isn't this Halo compare? I mean, yeah, that I would say it's comparable to when Hermione was ranting on about working conditions for magical creatures and stuff. But I like with that, like when you expect a backstory to be written about a character that is as beloved as Sergeant Johnson, you expect to have his entire backstory from beginning to end, like, or until the current part of the Halo timeline is concerned. But instead we get 2 AIs that fall in love, kind of. We get the Covenant inner workings realizing that, oh, the humans are basically the predecessor, or not predecessor, the forerunners, like the reclaimers. The people in the Covenant realize that the humans are the reclaimers and that would mess up everything within the Covenant. And so they're like, oh, in order to cover up what we know, we're going to go to war with the humans. It's like, cool, great. That part forwarded the plot. But some of the other stuff we didn't need in the book, to be honest. So yeah, that was my opinion on the book. That's why it took me so long to read it.
I agree with that opinion because it's the same one I have. Holy shit. I have nothing to add. You've already said everything. And I really love how when you have these podcasts and then somebody says exactly what you're thinking and you're just like, well, shit, you stole my answer. I hate you. That's what I'm having for like most of this podcast right now is, yeah, what you're saying, even though I read the book before you did, you read the book just now and you came up with the same gripes, then it says
something about the book.
Yeah, it really does. Then that means that the book just isn't the greatest. It's really not. And that's a damn shame because you kind of wasted your opportunity of using Sergeant Johnson as a main character. Like,
yeah, I agree.
It's almost like
Like-
they didn't plan it out completely. What he should have been done, like used to do the plot devices and the storyline and all that shit. It's kind of sad. And this is coming from a dude that's not a writer. I am not a writer. I am not a creative in that way. I just like to read, and then when I see that these glaring mistakes were made, I had to push through this book. I had to force myself to read it.
Same.
There were so many times where I was bored out of my fucking mind, and I just laid the book down and I didn't touch it for like 2-3 weeks. And I was like, I bought the book. I need to finish it. If I buy a book, I need to finish it. If somebody like lets me borrow a book and I get bored of it, I'm just gonna go ahead and give it back. Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna finish it. So, and
Yeah,
that's like if I, it's the same way with movies. If I buy a movie ticket, I'm gonna sit through and watch the whole movie, even if it's horrible, even if I don't like it within the first 15 minutes, because I paid money to see it. I might as well watch it.
Yep. I agree. I think part of the problem is I don't think they realized how big of a fan base Sergeant Johnson would get, and they're like, "Oh, Sergeant Johnson's a popular character. We need to do something, about it." And yeah, I don't think that they planned the book out well. I maybe by this time in the game and book writing process, they didn't consider the Orion Project. Part of me wonders if the Orion Project wasn't an afterthought while they were writing or creating the Halo universe and the Halo series, because it kind of felt like they were like, oh yeah, it's a throwaway line. You guys are the Spartan 2s. We tried the Orion Project, but it didn't really work. And it's just a throwaway line instead of going, deeper into the Orion Project until much later on. But hey, that is just me. That is how I feel.
And if somebody with, I don't know, like more Halo knowledge than the two of us, which there are like Gibbs has more Halo knowledge than I do. Fucking Lethal Lightning is a Halo nerd to the max. Like he knows lore, like answers to lore questions that I wouldn't even know the questions to ask,
Mhm.
And yeah, maybe their like opinion of the book will be different than ours, or maybe it'll be similar. We don't know. All we have is for them to review it if they want. And just because their opinion might be different doesn't make our opinion any less valid, I guess I could say. But this is the problem with opinions, is because everybody has them. And just because somebody likes something doesn't make it not trash,
Right.
Just because somebody dislikes something doesn't mean it's not gold,
Mhm.
So
Like there were definitely parts of this book that I enjoyed. Like I enjoyed like the part like understanding the beginnings of the Human Covenant War. Like what started it? What were the events that led up to the Covenant deciding to go to war with the humans? I thought that part was cool and amazing, and I wanted more of that. It's just some of the other I felt like it was just too dialogue heavy. It just they could have cut out some of that dialogue and we wouldn't have even cared.
I mean, even the books where Master Chief is the main character, they are intense with dialogue, but they're also very intense with moving the plot forward with firefights and escapes and tension. And that's what I thought we would get when I first read Contact Harvest, because it's the first time that humanity makes contact with the Covenant. The very first time. You would think that it's going to be, we're going to try to understand them, but then also we're going to get into a fight with them. Like that's what I thought when I first like saw the book, and I was like, I want to read this. Let's read it. And then
does
nothing
have
happened.
It kind of does that. Like they tried to do some sort of peace talk thing, but then the first human is killed. what's his name? What was
I
his
forget his name.
Started with an O.
It's been about 8 years, 10 years since I've read the book. So we're going off of memory here for me, at least.
I'm looking it up right now. I'm like, what is this name? Osmo. He's the first human to die in the Human Covenant War. And it's like, it's really, in my opinion, anticlimactic. It's like, hey, we're trying to understand you and the Covenant, you know, like we get to see some of the inner workings that where they're kind of fighting each other, and we get to see the big ape-like people, like where the one that ends up betraying the Arbiter, like we get to see a little bit of his backstory, but it's a lot of characters that we don't really care about. We're getting a lot more information on them than the ones that we actually care about. Like, I want to know everything I can about Sergeant Johnson. I want to know everything I can about the prophets of the Prophet of Truth.
Is it Fortitude? I think that's
yeah. That's the one who he isn't a prophet yet. He's just a minister, and like I want to know like more about like they had a little bit more of their backstory, but I think they just went too much. Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, it could have devoted it, like the Covenant inner political conflict, to its own book. It is Fortitude, right? Let me look that shit up. Hold on, give me a second. I think it is Fortitude. Pretty sure. Yes, it is. It is the Minister of Fortitude. Yeah,
and he becomes the Prophet of Truth, right? One of the prophets. He becomes one of the prophets.
Yeah, he becomes a prophet. It's been forever. I was not prepared for the stream. This is what happens, people, when you're not prepared for a stream and you're talking about a book that you haven't read in 10 years. But yeah, they could have devoted the House of Card politics that was in the Covenant to its own book, and that could have been dialogue heavy with almost no gunplay, no like firefights, no war, no nothing. It could have just been politics. And you know what? I would have loved that. I love some Game of Thrones style politics. I love House of Cards, like that. When people that use their silver tongues to get ahead in the political sphere, that's cool to me. I like that. But it was like a really badly written side story that almost took over the story when I was reading it. Like, it was like, oh, we're back at the politics. I want to talk about Johnson.
What's Johnson up to?
Professor.
Yeah, Professor Arkasul. Yeah, I think that for the most part, since our opinion on the book is kind of the same, I had planned on talking about some other articles, but because of the internet losing, I kind of lost the articles I was going to talk about. Let me see if I can find them again.
Oh my gosh. What were the articles about?
One of them was about the new mermaid, Little Mermaid with King Triton. Here we go. Little Mermaid inspired animation where they're changing the races again.
No.
And then
please shoot me.
We're just gonna talk about this, and then we'll end the stream because I'm worried that something else is gonna go wrong.
But is it reshuffled? So this time Ariel is just like Mexican or whatever.
I don't know.
We're about to find out.
Yeah, I was gonna try and make this dark mode, but dark mode's not working, so I'm not gonna test my luck anymore. We're just gonna show this and with its light and all.
Prepare for a flashbang.
Yeah, prepare for a flashbang.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. Not bad at all.
Okay. So Disney confirms live action The Little Mermaid inspired animated series Ariel will race swap King Triton and Ursula. Yeah.
But Ursula doesn't have a race. Ursula is a squid monster, octopus lady.
Her race is tentacle.
Yeah. Her race is, if anything, her skin color is gray. We don't have gray humans.
You can go with either gray or purple.
Yeah, gray or purple or what? Oh my word! This hurts. This hurts.
Disney has revealed their upcoming Disney Juniors Ariel will feature race swapped of both King Triton and fan favorite villainous Ursula. See that's a good that's a good
Is
This
Ursula a
hurts.
fan favorite? She
I didn't know
really
Ursula was a fan favorite either.
Oh no, Boba's here.
This
Bring him in. Bring in Boba.
why not?
Boba
This
doesn't-
is-
Boba doesn't want to be a part of this cancer. Oh my gosh!
Oh, now
What's
Gibbons
up,
shows up.
Gibbs?
Now you show up. Now, oh, I could kill you. I could kill you, Gibbons.
He could.
Gibbons, if you wonder why you got a lot of messages this morning, it's because my internet went out for like a good 20 minutes and Ark was steering the ship solo.
Yeah, and you've played with me when I steer the ship in Sea of Thieves. Oh my gosh.
The Ark Terrible Driver memes go here.
And you call me a hussy because of that? I was fucking helping with my family. Yeah. Family this, family that. Gibbons the family man.
To be fair,
Gibbons
you
has
are
favorite.
a hussy.
All right.
Disgusting.
Oh,
All
it's
right,
scroll
so
down.
what is
There we go.
this? What is this? So they're gonna make Triton black, of course, because Ariel is black. Yeah, okay.
So that's
we figured
Ariel.
that. I am more interested in what they're gonna do to Ursula because we already hate Ursula. So if you make
So
Ursula
here's King Triton.
of a different color, then
Here's Ursula.
why? 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 So you've just made Lizzo the sea monster.
That is so bad.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's gonna be the new Ursula. This is gonna be the
And
new
so
Ursula.
anybody that doesn't like the character Ursula is now racist. I want you to know this.
Yep.
If you don't
Yep.
like Ursula, then you're racist.
But
This
this means that everyone in the cartoon will be black.
Yeah, literally
Oh.
everybody in the cartoon, every
In
single
the
fish.
in the live action, Triton literally just went around the world, getting a daughter for each race because he had one of each. So they reduced the diversity.
Yep.
This hurts. This hurts the brain. What's the next article?
Let me try and find it. Talking about Indiana Jones. Hold on, I think
More
my
brain
internet is
hurt.
still having issues.
Okay.
Let's see if I can
What do
bring
you
it up
mean?
without.
Indiana
destroying
Jones
the
had
internet.
3 movies and then we never heard from it again.
I mean, sure, yes, technically, but we're going to talk about this anyway. We're going to talk about the rumor mill. Then we're going to talk about this
Okay.
rumor of a fifth
All right.
Indiana Jones movie. Indiana Jones movie woke controversy in the Dial of Destiny explained. So they're going to explain this wokeness. The
Oh, it's
fifth
Screen
Indiana
Rant.
Jones-
You know it's gonna be good. It's Screen Rant. Oh my.
Yep, you
gosh.
know it's going to be good. Hello, Gibbons. Welcome.
Hey,
Welcome
why-
to this. I
Oh,
had an idea for
man.
the stream, and then my internet decided it was gonna kick me out of my own stream. So we're just going with the flow today. So
is this the Literary Souls after party before Literary Souls? Is
No,
this-
Sure,
Kind
why
of.
not?
It's the
Kind of.
pre-after party that happens in the middle of the stream.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I see.
And then after this, we might try and go back to some Halo since we have Gibbons who probably knows more Halo than we do. But
No.
we're gonna do it. Oh, never mind. Okay.
He says that. He just doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna
The
go into
truth.
Indiana Jones as they try and to explain this wokeness. The fifth Indiana Jones movie caused controversy for supposedly being woke, but what was it about the Dial of Destiny that caused such a stir? Everything. The fact that this movie exists. Woke up to drink milk, and the first thing I hear is talk of Little Mermaid.
The little
The fifth
Muhammad.
Indiana
What?
Jones movie caused controversy over its so-called woke humor, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny drew the ire of some viewers. Premiering in 2023, the long-awaited. Nobody was waiting for this besides KK.
This is. Can we go back to the Little Mermaid article, please?
Look,
Can we go back there? I
The
would
only
prefer
thing-
that.
the only thing that I was like slightly, and I mean ever so slightly interested in was to see how they treated Indiana Jones' son. And then literally within like
He's dead, Jim.
he's
just
literally
died off screen.
within 25 minutes of like, oh, nice flashback. So what happened to his son? Oh, went to Vietnam and died.
Yep,
It's like, oh,
that's it.
that's it? Great. Fantastic. Fucking hate it.
We
Next.
basically spent a movie building up this character, and now he's dead.
And now he's dead. So that we could put the flea bag on screen. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't fucking understand the hype for Indiana Jones 5. It just wasn't there. I didn't see it at all, and my social media is not an echo chamber. I went out looking for people that were happy about Indiana Jones, and none of them were like none of them went to see Indiana Jones for Indy. None of them went for that. They went for the new characters because they're like, we need to breathe new life into the Indiana Jones franchise. And I'm like, no, Indiana Jones is the main character. You're supposed to like watch the movies to see how he handles the events.
Yeah, but no, Art. We live in the new age where if there is, just a male role model that exists, it's just no, we can't have that. No, not non-existent whatsoever. He's got to be old. He's got to be decrepit. There has to be somebody who is smarter and better than them. And then also the villain, not the Soviets in the height of the 60s. No, why would we have that? No, Nazis again.
It's Nazis. I see, and I haven't even seen the fucking movie because I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna watch that shit. Not after what I've like heard from other people that went and watched it. No, I'm not gonna watch that and waste my money and waste my time watching that. But to find out that it's the Nazis again.
No, it's worse. It's Nazis that basically implanted themselves in the CIA. So they're like American Nazis. And do you know what the motivation of the bad guy was in that movie, dude? Do
What's
you
the
even know?
motivation? No, I
'Cause
don't know.
It was
okay.
the Mustache Man did an insufficient effort at his atrocities. He wasn't
Uh-huh.
evil enough.
Uh-huh.
So I gotta do Mustache Man, but better.
True mustache man has never been tried. Is the motivation of the villain?
No.
It's like the whole
That
true
is-
communism has never been tried.
That's exactly.
He wanted to try true mustache manery.
That is so weak.
And,
That is so weak.
And my favorite part about this, is that he's going to do this using the friggin' Antikythera, which in this universe, it detects fissures in time. That is its whole purpose. And so my thing, right? It's like everybody's focusing on time travel, whatever. Right? It's like no. This detects fissures in time. It doesn't create them. It just detects them. which means
No, it detects a specific fissure in time. Just
Yeah.
the one.
just the one, which means there may be multiple, which means in the world of Indiana Jones now, there are just tears in the fabric of reality that if you manage to fly in them the wrong way, you could get yoinked to a different point in history.
I mean,
hate
that theory has been like with the Bermuda Triangle and stuff. A lot of people suspect that that's what the like woo-woo fans suspect that that's what's going on in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, okay. But
I hate it.
okay, but that would at least be somewhat, like based on like an actual like a legend or like a myth or something cool. But no, they took something from history and just completely altered its use and purpose. It just like people.
So what you're saying is they took and let's face it, Indiana Jones was the quote unquote fantasy version of Star Wars. Like if you take those two, because you have George Lucas directing both of them, you have Star Wars, which is sci-fi, and then you have Indiana Jones, which is archaeology, which is like you're going back in the past, and there's nothing more fantastical. If I'm gonna use that word, than like learning about history. Because a lot of people don't know about history, and so they're like, "Oh, did that really happen?" That my imagination is going crazy now, and it's like you've taken Indiana Jones and you've made him into a shitty version of a sci-fi flick.
Yeah,
More or
Pretty-
less.
And they did that with the other movie, with the number 4, with the
Mhm.
fucking aliens. Like you didn't have to have aliens. You didn't have just. Mando, what's the other article you got? Please tell me you got another one.
Before we go,
Like,
well,
yeah.
you know what my favorite part was when the avatar of Kathleen Kennedy's like just punches Indy for having the guts to say, "I just want to die."
that is true.
Begs for death, and she says, "No, you will be our IP forever." It's such hilarious
Metagame.
meta commentary.
Yeah.
You know,
No, you will never die. We'll milk your ass forever.
you know, in my opinion, the only hope for Indiana Jones is if Harrison Ford kicks the bucket before they make the
Yep.
next movie. That's
Yeah.
the only hope.
You know they already have AI Harrison Ford.
Oh,
Ready to go.
are you familiar with the opening sequence of this movie arc of Dial of
Fuck
Destiny?
no.
They
Are you gonna
they de-aged Harrison Ford.
No.
They de-aged him.
Yeah,
They've done it. It's already over.
they already have
They
AI
have him.
Harrison ready to go.
Yeah, no, they've
They
recorded
just,
and reported.
they can just
He's
generate
done.
his voice, and the model is already created. The 3D
Yeah.
model.
I hate it. I hate it so much. I
It's
hate
not-
it so
It is,
much.
it is not good. It's very.
Here
not.
are some semi good news. Original Snow White director's son at 91 slams Disney. So Disney's getting slammed by somebody who actually knows their stuff. Yay!
Okay.
I mean, but it did. Or okay, here's the thing. The dude is 91 years old. Is anybody going to? Nobody respects their elders nowadays. Nobody.
They're just gonna say, "Oh, old man yells at Cloud."
Yeah, old man shakes his fist at children. That's what it is. That's all that this is gonna end up being is you stupid idiots defiling what my father did.
I'm kind of curious as to like what he has to say, because if he actually says woke, then that actually might like devalue what he has to say.
Yeah, let's scroll. Let's scroll away.
I wanna take
Star
a look.
Rachel Ziegler has said the upcoming musical features Snow White as a modern woman. Oh no.
So
New live action version of Disney Snow White is on its way, but not everyone is happy about it. Ya think? In an interview with The Telegraph, David Hand, the son of one of the co-directors of the 1937's animated Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, who was also named David Hand. Why are there so many hands? Slam the new movie is lacking respect for the original. If
Why-
you guys don't know why I'm laughing at hands, it's fine. Disney is making. Yep.
Okay, let's see. So he says it's a whole different concept, and I just totally disagree with it. Okay, I like where we're going. He called it a disgrace that the live action treatment is trying to do something new with something that was such a great success earlier. Their thoughts are just so radical now. They changed the stories, they changed the thought process of the characters. They're making up new woke things, and I'm just not into any of that. So, yep, he said the word.
Yeah, no,
That was that.
that's fine. That's fine. But like the actual like core of what he's saying is true. I mean, literally, it's not about actually remaking the movie, because if they were remaking the movie, they'd try to keep the intentions of the characters like perfectly fine. It's like it would be like remaking like something like 12 Angry Men, and then instead of having like Juror 8 be the one who's like the voice of reason against everything, they make it like Juror 3, which for people who don't know, it's basically it would be flipping the story on its head and being like, oh, the one who was right was wrong and the one who was wrong was right. And it's like, but why are you doing that? Like, what's your intention? What's your motivation behind this? Why are we doing what we're doing here?
I still
there
don't
anything
understand
to
why
be
they
done?
made Gal Gadot the ugly, wicked witch.
I don't know.
Yeah, and Nas just said the same thing. He says, I still don't understand how the beef of Gal Gadot is going to be jealous of that thing.
Is it literally going to be like one is going to be more stronger and independent than the other, and then that's going to be where the jealousy comes in. The 12 Angry Women. Yes, Cosmo. I would. I don't know if I would make it through the end, but I would at least pay the ticket to watch it. It would be entertaining for a while.
Well, they're gonna make whoever's the fairest of them all mean something different. Fairest isn't gonna mean beautiful. It's gonna mean who's the more just.
I think
Who's-
that was the actual rumor. It's that it's just gonna be who's the most fair ruler, and not
Yeah.
who is the hottest.
Yeah.
Which is just okay.
That is extremely
Turns out
dumb.
they all got.
And didn't they also replace 6 of the 7 dwarves with just
with not dwarves?
not dwarves?
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
It's now the 7 fae people.
Yeah.
And each
Yes.
of them is just a different fantasy thingamajig.
Oh, so, okay. It's no longer about looks or beauty or ugliness or whatever. It's about It's about justice. It's about being a quote unquote good ruler. What?
Yes, and the evil queen, who is patently evil and just does evil things, is very concerned about being the fairest ruler of them all.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
All of a sudden, she picked up a copy of Il Principe, and she's like, "Wow, am I a tyrant? Like, what's going on here? Like,
Am I the baddies?
am I the baddie?"
Am I the bad
I'm going to
person?
continue being the baddies, but I just want the perception of me to be something else, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
Yep.
supposed to be both the lion and the fox. What? Huh?
What?
This. Okay, so my brain has started to rot ever since we read the articles. Mando, is there any other articles, or can I free myself of this abuse?
Well, Gibbons, have you read Contact Harvest? At all?
I have not read a single Halo. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine.
But I mean, the point still stands. Gibbons probably knows more about Halo than I do, just off the top
No.
of his head.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, like slightly. I don't know. Probably not.
Okay, so let me ask you, just what is your opinion about this book? Being that we have Sergeant Johnson, who's awesome, right? Would you agree
Yes.
that Sergeant Johnson is awesome? Okay.
He's pretty
But
good.
instead of focusing on Sergeant Johnson and his motivation for doing what he's doing, giving us some backstory, like when he was younger, maybe as a child, teenager, young adult. Instead of
Mhm.
doing that, they focus on a love story between two AI, and they focus on the interworkings in politics and behind the scenes politics of the Covenant. What would you say to that?
And Sergeant Johnson is on the cover of this book.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
He's like, hold on a second, y'all. I'm about to bust out my encyclopedia.
No, he's like, give me 1 second while I run away. That's what he's doing.
Yeah,
No, my brother just burst into the room.
Oh, okay. I was about to be
Yeah,
like,
no.
he's bring out the big books.
No. But like, that's just, it's very peculiar. I don't know. Like, it might be interesting to learn about the inner workings of the Covenant and stuff like that. Like, especially since I would argue that like Halo 2 was really interesting because it dealt with that duality of like the Arbiter and Master Chief, and you were learning about basically how both sides saw the war. But
Yeah.
but to kind of mask it underneath, I mean, like, was there even like a story about Johnson in it, like, or was it
Yeah,
like
we
a
got-
superficial thing?
We got to see just before he got to Planet Harvest
Okay.
that his aunt, who he was very close to, passed away, but he was already an adult, done military service, and he was just upset about his aunt dying, and then he was transferred to Harvest. And kind
So-
of the first battle between the Covenant and the humans.
So it just seems like a kind of like a snapshot. It doesn't even like tell you much about like how he feels or like in general, like why he would even sign up. I mean, I could understand why in general, just like if you have like a like I guess the UNSC or just like in general like the Empire of Humanity like expanding that far, I could see like why they would want people to join the military and fight and all that stuff in order to
We
expand
don't-
their horizons. But you don't get any of that, do you?
We don't get any of young Sergeant Johnson, just a little bit of he was very close to his aunt, and his aunt passed away, and he was very sad.
And these AI that you're talking about, these are AI like
They're
that
smart
are-
AI. They're in charge of the Planet Harvest, like the defenses, and then the Planet Harvest is in charge of most of the crops that the Earth colonies eat. Like this is a pretty important planet because it's in charge of the food processing, and so it has a couple of smart AIs like in charge of the crops, and then another one that's in charge of just the defense and making sure that the planet runs. And they apparently fall in love.
Like just, and I mean,
But they both die at the end.
Oh, that's good. That's great. Love that. So it doesn't actually mess with anything of the lore. Love it. I love it so
totally.
much. Yeah, and I was thinking, I'm just like in general, like Cortana is just like the whole thing with like Cortana and Chief in general. What makes the games interesting is that they have like a pretty. I mean, it's a very like I guess a work relationship almost where it's like one is kind of like the brains and then the other one is like the tactical acumen and all and they work together and it's fantastic. But I'm just trying to figure out like why would you do something about like AIs and if they could feel and AIs feeling for each other, like what's the motivation?
They've known each other for a very long time, and the male AI has always been flirting with the female AI, but she's like, we're AIs, we're in charge of doing like very business-like. And then towards the end, when she's towards the end of her life because of this battle that's happening at Harvest, her last words are, I actually do care about you.
Oh, I need that clip from Jesse from Breaking Bad season 1 where it's like okay like I don't
That was when I was reading it, I was just like, oh, she was kind of cool, but
what? What's happening?
So there's like 3 different stories happening at the same time in this book.
Yeah. I can understand that, and I can understand like having the multiple different perspectives and stuff like that. But it's just weird. Like why those specific three different storylines? Was there any underlying tone that connected them? Was there like any sort of like message that like
Kind of. Like it was basically the big overarching, I guess, story is the Covenant found a freighter that had an AI, and they were like, "Oh, there are humans. They have art. The planet Harvest has Forerunner artifacts, but the artifacts are actually the humans." And so, because of the fact that it's the humans, it messes with the Covenant's ideology. And if the Covenant leaders were to find out that the humans are supposed to be the reclaimers, the entire Covenant would break down. And so that's kind of the point of view of what's going on with the Covenant. It's like, oh, we got to cover this up. We need to go to war with the humans because they made contact. The humans are realizing, oh, there's another alien race. Let's see if we can make friends with them. And then the Covenant makes the first shot, and then the two AIs are the ones that kind of defend Harvest. Like they try and defend it for as long as they can, and Sergeant Johnson's also one of the people that's defending Harvest before the Covenant takes over. And so that's kind of the overarching thing. Like in theory, the idea and the plot and everything is actually really good. It's just we have a lot of dialogue that's kind of unnecessary, and the relationship between the two AIs was really unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them made sacrifices to protect Harvest, because Oni, of course, Oni's involved, and so apparently the male AI has two sides to his personality. One is serious and like does spy things, and then the other one is just in charge of the crops.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember that at least. And
so
and
I mean, like
always
there are
thought
good
that-
aspects.
I always thought that it was the it was like the spy one, like the whatever, like they literally made an AI with split personality to a degree, and I thought that was cool, but also like how he kept constantly, I don't know, flirting with the other one. It was just,
I mean, that was fine.
It was weird to me. I was like, you're a robot. Like I don't know. I didn't like it. I don't like it. I thought
it was fun. I just didn't think it should have been a main point in the story. Like that should have been like a much lesser point, in my opinion.
Are there stories in like, I guess in like the Halo like bibliography or just in general that is that are more focused on like individual humans and Marines and like their accounts and stuff like that? Or
yes, this is part of that series where it's they're supposed to do backgrounds of individual characters within the Halo universe. This is the first of those types of stories. I think and I haven't read those other stories. I just know they exist. I think this one, because this was the first one, I'm sure the other biographies, if that's what you want to call them, are better than this first one. And I agree with Gigawatt. I think the author of this one, Joseph Staten, probably was more interested in the AIs than he was in Sergeant Johnson.
Well, I mean, if like the AIs kind of take like front and center in this story, it's kind of, I mean, it's the same problem with like other movies and like other projects where like you get given an IP and you give it to like a creative like a director who thinks he's, you know, his farts can sell for hundreds of dollars and is like, I want to make a story about this particular character and their motivation. It's like, yeah, but they're like a tertiary character that don't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's like, no, but I want to make it a story about this. And then they just go for it. And I'm being very vague on purpose because you kind of just fit the mold on anything, especially since this is like, it's not even a character that you will see later on. It's not like they focused on, like, for example, like a Brute or even like,
I mean, they do have a Brute in this story, like the main one that becomes the enemy of the Arbiter. We get a little bit of his backstory in this.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. Like, there's just so many things going on, and like the point of the book was supposed to be Sergeant Johnson. Do you see what I mean? Like,
yeah. I feel like it's been a very long time since I read the books, but I feel like it should have been like reminds me of,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, it reminds me of Ridley Scott being more interested in AI and Prometheus and Alien Covenant than the alien mythos. Yeah.
I would actually, I would agree with that. I would.
What I was gonna say though was maybe there should have been like a case of like have any of you read Ender's Game?
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah, it's been a long time, dude.
But like this is more of like a broad strokes thing rather than actually it being about the book itself. They should have done what they did with Ender's Game, where they had a book where they had Ender's Game, which focused on like the main character, and then he released a later book called Ender's Shadow, which is literally it's the same sequence of events but from the perspective of a different character.
Mhm, I agree.
And because basically Ender's Game it focuses on the main character, his arc, and then Ender's Shadow it focuses on a character called Bean and his kind of POV on the events that are taking place.
I have not read that.
And I've heard that Ender's Game I read it was very good, and I heard Ender's Shadow was basically on par with Ender's Game. So
it probably just fleshes it out. Like it probably
that's
gives a lot of.
That's what it is. It recontextualizes a lot of events, and it's like that. That's what you need in a story like this. I feel like if, for example, you want to have something like this, right? Like a depicting, let's say, like the conquest of Harvest by the Covenant. You have one book that focuses on the perspective of, let's say, the broad conflict of like the Covenant and the AI. And then if you want to have a later story, you do it from the perspective of Sergeant Johnson and what he sees. Or maybe the other way around. You have it from the perspective of Johnson, and then you get that broad context of what's going on and like who's fighting and stuff like that. And maybe one book would be less interesting than the other because people latch on to, like, let's say, I really like a POV story of like, it's a difference between like, let's say,
well, they want the quote unquote important plot points, so they're going to focus on like the first book, the one that has all of the meat and potatoes. They're not going to go for like the salads and desserts that are in the next book. That's all like the fluff of it all that just add to the story.
And that's kind of what this is supposed to be. Kind of. Yeah. Because it talks about the start of the Human Covenant War, which is great. But like Ark and I like talked about, like, I wish that they would have, like, this is supposed to be about Sergeant Johnson. I wish they would have actually talked about the Orion Project, which he was a part of. They don't talk about the Orion Project at all. Like, he's already been in the military for a while, and we see an adult Sergeant Johnson. Like, it's not too early in the Covenant. I don't think that Master Chief was probably born yet at this time, or maybe he was, and it was I forget the year. But like, I wanted to see what they did with the Fall of Reach, where we got John's backstory, and then we got overarching like themes like later on. Instead, we got like the story didn't flow really well, in my opinion, because we got so many different perspectives of things going on.
Right. Well, is there anything else that you want to talk about, Mando?
Gigawatt. No. So out of I'm gonna grab all of the books that I have. Out of the Halo books that I've read so far, which are in chronological order, it is The Fall of Reach, which talks about the Spartan 2 project, The Flood, which is the events of the first game, and First Strike, which is in between the first and the second game. And then this book comes out. So in this one, we get a lot of interaction with Sergeant Johnson. We get a lot of just basically Master Chief's mindset. Like, this is, if you were to play the games, you wouldn't get any information about First Strike. Except for you just get a lot of like Sergeant Johnson. And so then to have a book right after about Sergeant Johnson and it not mention the Orion Project at all, it's kind of weird because you're like, oh, and as far as the book series is concerned, we're meeting Sergeant Johnson. Who is this guy? Where did he come from? Like, why is he important to this story? And then you get kind of like, yes, the first humans and Covenant interact, and like that's the start of the war, which is great, and that, you know, that should be, I think, a book on its own. Whereas I thought that this one should have been about Sergeant Johnson's backstory and us getting a lot more information about the Orion Project, and it didn't. It didn't even say anything about the Orion Project. Hi, Smile.
Hello, Smile.
Smile, you missed it. My internet went out in the middle of the stream. It was great. It was fabulous. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Do you guys have any other thoughts?
I just think it could have been better, but as with all artistic projects, which writing is an art, you can always improve. There are always things that as soon as you make a publication that you want to change, it's you don't always like make a masterpiece when you make a publication of any kind. And I really hate that I didn't really have much good to say about the book. There were good things, like, of course, Sergeant Johnson's in the book. I liked that. That's why I read the book. But it's like a glaring oversight that there wasn't more of Sergeant Johnson. Sure, you wanted to like set the stage for the politics of the Covenant, which is good, awesome. You wanted to also explore like what makes an AI, cool. And when you already have an established AI that has a relationship with another AI, what would that interaction be like? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It feels like it could have been more. And maybe that's the fault of the people that wanted the book produced, or maybe it's the fault of the author. Who knows? All I can say is I read the book. It was very, very subpar compared to the other books that I have read. I read all of the Master Chief, like the beginning of Master Chief books first, which starts with the Fall of Reach, and
The Flood.
Yeah, the Flood, and what's the other one? First Contact? First Strike. Yeah. And so I read those three, and then I read this one, and it's just, I didn't get the same amount of enjoyment as I did with the other three. And that's what that's what all humans do, is they want to get either the same amount of enjoyment, equal enjoyment, or they want more enjoyment. And if they don't, then they don't like the product. And that's just the natural way of things. And that's also, if you create a book that is too good for your first book, then you have to top it. You always have to strive to be better with your products and with the things that you produce than the previous. And you can also write yourself into a really bad hole if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's just like with the perfect example is with anime. There's always a power creep. And the perfect example of anime power creep is Dragon Ball. You start off with Dragon Ball, the beginning of Goku's journey. Then you go to Dragon Ball Z. Then you go from Dragon Ball Z, each saga. You have the Saiyan saga, you have the Frieza saga, you have the Cell saga. And the Cell saga was so good that when you have the Buu saga, it's not as good. I will freely admit that the Buu saga has its moments, but for the overall, it's not as good as the Cell saga. And that's what I felt when I read this book.
Yes, I agree. No, not quite. We did mention anime, but not animated. We did not, Boba. Yes, we have expectations as humanity. Agreed. Like especially when you already have like pre-existing material, like it needs to be as good, if not better. And yeah, It's hard to top things. When you make someone the most ultimate, super strong thing in the universe, you have to try to find a super stronger evil villain for them to go up against. Or you can just stop and let them retire.
And that's why, like with John 117, the Master Chief, he's too good. But also, when you look at the other Spartans, John is not the greatest Spartan. He is not the strongest Spartan. He is not the smartest Spartan. But he is the most well-rounded Spartan they've ever come across. They've ever
Also-
created. They ever like trained. What were you say, Gibbs?
He's also the luckiest.
Yeah,
Yes.
but he is the luckiest Spartan. That is one thing that he does have. And so you go from following John to then Sergeant Johnson, and you're like, Sergeant Johnson has that charisma. He has that badass nature to him, but then you don't even really pay attention to him. Like you don't even really like you follow what Johnson does, but you don't really use him to the full extent that you could have. And it just took me out of the book. And so that's why I'm like, when you invited me to talk about Contact Harvest, I was like, why couldn't it have been one of the other ones? Why couldn't
Well,
it?
it's because like I wanted someone else to understand. Like it was hard for me to read. Like, and all of the other, like besides the Flood, because I had already played the games and the Flood's just a repeat of the games. Like I really enjoyed like these books. Like I read them in a day. This one, it took me almost a week to get through because it just didn't like draw me in the way the others did. It didn't give me that connection to the main character because there was like so many other main characters. It's like you can't really get a deep connection to any one of them because they're all it felt very shallow compared to the other books. I think that's the word that we're looking for. It's shallow.
Yes, it is very shallow. This is one of those books. I don't normally do this with books, especially if I buy them. But this is one of those books where I picked it up and I set it down several times. It took me several months to finish it the first time. Like when I read it the first time, and then the second time when I read it, I skipped the parts that I didn't like. But the first time that I read it, have any of you guys that have read books, whether on the panel or in the live chat, have you guys ever been bored with a book and instead of like just turning the pages to try and find something that you like, you just quickly skim over the pages of the book? Like, because that's what I did with this one, and I've done it with other
Same.
books as well. Like the first time I read Aragon, I skimmed through the pages. Like Aragon, the first one, it's entertaining, but it takes you a very, very long time to get to the entertaining part. And I don't blame Christopher Paolini on that. And I don't blame this author on that. It's just, it is what it is, basically. And that's what I did.
Yeah, Smile a While says she's done that or just not finished the book.
Oh, no.
I just steal books off of Adrian, so he picks the good shit for me.
There we
Yeah,
go. There
I've
we
done
go.
that though. Like that's what I did in this book when I was reading through it. Is I was like, whenever I realized that it was going to be super dialogue heavy, because like I also like I got this skill in college or in school because like you have to learn how to skim through books quickly, but I still got the main point of the story. Like I did that with this book, and I don't do that to books I like. If I like a book, I'm going to read line for line. If I'm not liking a book, I'm going to skip through and get the main idea of the paragraph or the page, and I'll just keep on going forward. Like if I'm skimming through a book, it means that I'm not catching my my attention.
Mm-hmm. And also, you can have good books and bad books written by the same author. Terry Pratchett is a wonderful example because not every single Discworld book written by Terry Pratchett is my cup of tea. The books that I loved, like the first 3 were amazing. I was enraptured by those books. Like I was consumed by those books. But now I'm stuck on a book, and let me quickly pull up the book. Let me just look for Terry Pratchett. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
Well, while
Um,
you're
yeah, go
looking
for
that
it.
up, just a real quick thing. So, because I don't have all of the Halo book series, like physical copies, I'm going to pause. Like, this will be the last Halo one that I talk about for a little bit. I was able to get the entire Witcher series. So next Literary Souls is probably going to be the first book of the Witcher series, because I have all of the Witcher series. I don't have all of the Halo books. So until I can get all of the Halo books, I'm going to pause and pivot. So, just
Okay,
letting you
I
guys
found
know.
it. So the first, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first 6 books that Terry Pratchett wrote, which goes from The Color of Magic to The Weird Sisters. Those are fantastic books, and I loved those books. Then the book that I'm on right now is book 7, and I've been on that book for 7 months. It's like I pick it up and I set it down. It is called Pyramids. Now, not to say that it's a bad book, it's just Terry has matured as an author. He wants to explore different areas and different ways of writing, and it's just I'm reading it because he wrote it and because it's in the Discworld universe. If anyone else had written a book like this and it wasn't a part of a universe that I didn't care about, then I would have set this down and have forgotten about it. But because of the success that he had with the other books, and what I mean by success is my enjoyment that I got from the other books, I'm going to finish Pyramids. It's not my favorite book by far. In fact, I think this is my least favorite, but also he has like a billion other books. I think it's like 40 something books that he's written that are in the Discworlds, and
I think so.
I'm not going to say that Pyramids is the worst book because I haven't read all of Terry Pratchett. But that's what I'm eating my way through right now, and it's like I'm eating an elephant, an entire elephant all by myself. So
Gigawatt
delicious.
makes a good question for us. One question: some fans hate that the books give Master Chief more characterization than the games. I like that they expand his character. What do you guys think?
Oh well, Gibbs, go first.
I find it really interesting. The Chief to me should have some characterization, but not an exorbitant amount, because like I kind of have like a contradictory view. Like, I like the fact that his character is kind of portrayed through his actions, like he cares about the people around him, and like the way he speaks is very matter of fact. He doesn't like beat around the bush. He doesn't do any of that type of stuff. And I like the characterization in the game, and I think that that's sufficient. I also kind of see him as like a vessel for like the for how
The player.
for the player, right? So if you give him too much characterization, it is it kind of defeats the purpose. Like, he's not a Nathan Drake. He's not a he's
A
not
Tomb
like a
Raider.
Nathan, a Joel or anything like that, where like you are stepping into the shoes of a human being with aspirations and motivations and all that stuff. He does have aspirations and he does have motivations, you know, the survival of the human race and the victory over the Covenant, but that those are more objectives. And I think characterizing him like is maybe in his younger years as like somebody who may be like unstable, or somebody who would beat up to ODSTs for you know, making fun of him or looking at him funny, I think that's fine. But I think if you're trying to characterize him in his like adulthood as anything other than like a stoic green killing machine, it feels kind of wrong.
Yes.
But that's just me. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna real quick side note. Thank you so much, Late Art. She has gifted $50. Thank you so much. I do have on, if you see the pinned comment, that is how you can give me direct donation. So much love. Mwah. Thank y'all. Continue.
Yeah, I agree, Gibbs. I agree with your opinion. We needed to have John fleshed out when he was younger, from the time that he was kidnapped to the like all throughout his training and augmentation and the horrendous process that was that, and what made Chief and how he was introduced to his squad mates and the dynamic between the different squads and the different characters, and how, like the student teacher relationships that he formed, and then you also throw in that it's not a normal school, it's military. That's what it is. And so you have the military power dynamic and the chain of command that Chief has to abide by, and Chief still has superiors, even though he could kill his superiors with the like he could he could snap their neck with his thumb and forefinger. Like that's what he could do. And yet he still obeys their commands and still carries out the tasks that are given to him. Like all of that is needed, but there comes a point where you have to put Master Chief down as a character, and you can't add to his character because the games take place.
Yeah.
And when you play the game, when you play any video game for the most part, like Doom Guy, like Master Chief, like you are immersing yourself as basically a mindless killing machine. That's the whole point. And yes, there is a point on why he is quote unquote a mindless killing machine, and that's to save humanity. He is fighting aliens. When you're Doom Guy, you are saving humanity by fighting demons. And it's just, you can't add too much to Chief.
Or else you get Silver Timeline Chief, where he's like slamming a guy against the wall, and he's like, "What am I?"
Yeah,
you get something like that, and like you don't want like Chief to me. If you were to walk up to Master Chief and say, "Are you happy?" He'd just be like, "Yeah, I'm good." I'm
What do you mean happy? Like that doesn't factor into
anything. He's like that's the thing, right? Like you'd ask him like, "Are you happy?" And like he'd be like, I'm fine with the situation I'm in currently. Yeah, I mean, I'm not dead. Like but he would like, it's not that deep for him. Like he doesn't think about that stuff on a daily basis. He's kind of just
just ask you, why is it even relevant to ask?
Yeah,
right.
Basically.
Why are you asking this?
Why are you asking this?
Yeah. I we forgot about the Ghosts of Onyx. That was actually where we talked about the Spartan 3 program. First Strike was something else. Commit a crime. Yeah,
that too.
Yeah, that too.
So thank you guys so much for hanging out and dealing with the issues and the crazy stuff. So let's kind of wrap this up, because most of my thoughts are basically the same as your guys' thoughts. I think there's a point where we need to do some backstory to understand why Chief does what he does, but we also don't need to like go into what is his shoe size, what is his what color are his eyes, kind of thing.
What were his emotions after he made love for the first time? It's like, we don't need to know this. Thank you.
Right. We don't need to know. That's irrelevant to who he is as a character. So what do you guys have going on? I know some of you are streamers and some of you are not. So what's going on? We're gonna start with Ark, since you're directly to my left.
All right. Yes. So with me, I am starting a new project with my two good friends, Cream NATO and Boba Jet. So what we're doing is, in my server, you get to see like the behind the scenes kind of in my server. So if you would like to join my Discord server, just hit me up on any social media. I'm always Arkasul. It's ARKASULE. And you can be invited to the server. And what we'll be doing is like it's kind of like a podcast, but it's not. It's more like a late night talk show. And we have guests, and it's a lot of fun. We recorded our first episode. So what's going to happen is, like late night talk shows, they're never live. They're always pre-recorded. We will be recording them with a live studio audience, and you can participate in the audience, and you can ask us questions, and you can make comments, and we will talk to the audience and have a lot of fun. And so that's the project that we've started. We've already recorded the first episode. The first guest is Heath Nation. And it was a fun time. It was pretty insane. So we're going to record the talk show and then edit it and post it on one of our YouTube channels. We haven't decided which one. We might make a new one too. I don't know. Got to talk to the guys on that. But that is the project that I'm working on right now. As for streaming, I stream on Twitch. I don't want to make the move to Kick. It doesn't interest me as much as other people. So for now, live streams will be on Kick, and I have ideas of videos to record and edit for my own YouTube channel. So those ideas have not come to fruition yet. I don't have a timetable on when those videos will even be recorded. But the YouTube is kind of dormant right now, but I have ideas. The Twitch streams will happen when I'm not dead from work. And then I always love making guest appearances on panel shows like this with my good friend Mando. And we also have that new project that I've been working on with Cream and Boba. So stay tuned for that.
What about you, Maxter? Got any
Mac.
plans or anything? Or
He's a
Mac is muted.
He
Mac
got
is
Bye,
dead.
dead person.
bye, Mac. Okay.
Well,
Well, we'll just skip to
okay.
Gibbons.
I'll go ahead and I'll talk for Maxter. So what Maxter's going to do is he's going to harass me, Gibbs, Boba, Nasmir, basically anybody that streams. He's going to be in their chat, basically harassing them. That's the Maxter way.
in the fun way, not in
In the fun
the
way,
bad
yes.
Yeah, it's always in
And-
the fun way.
And to answer your question later, it will be The Last Wish. That will be next week. All right, Gibbons, what's going on with you?
I am a professional Arcasulan Untamed Mando orbiter. I've been doing it for the past few months, and it's been pretty neat. I do have a couple videos that I've been sitting on. They may never come out, but look, I will release one before the sun explodes. That's my.
If you are needing an editor, I can ask my editor if he wants to branch out. If that's what your holdup is.
It might. Yeah, I gotta. It won't be too much in terms of editing. I gotta like splice together the stuff. I have recordings and all that. It's just gonna take a while. Mostly just motivation. But yep. That's the plans are none at the moment. But I will. Well, I mean, none of us have talked about the Pathfinder thing that we're doing.
I
with,
was going to say that for last, after Carol.
Yeah, we were.
Okay. My bad. Sorry, I didn't say anything.
You
Scratch
jumped
that
the
for
gun.
record. Scratch that for the record. Kuro, what do you got?
All right, Kuro,
I'm
what
just
do you
me.
got going on?
I'm just me. I exist on Discord and Twitch chat, and I am occasionally a funny man.
Yes.
Outside of that, I also show up on Starfinder with Senior Trucker Rob of the Verdant Mint.
Yes. That is
Rumble.
the rumble.com / the Verdant Mint. That's
Yeah.
VERDANT. Verdant Mint.
where I play as a bugman who slaps the shit out of people with a giant ladder.
Yes. He slaps the shit out of people with a ladder. He's literally a WWE star.
I
Very
killed
nice.
a Jedi with a ladder. It was
Yes. I mean, I'm so sorry about the Jedi. I mean, I'm a Mandalorian. What do I care about Jedi?
Most definitely.
All right, now we can talk about the Pathfinder Gibbs. So, myself, Gibbons, and Untamed Mando are on Trucker Rob's Rumble channel, the Verdant
And
Mint,
my Kick.
and on Mando's Kick and the Malware's Kick. We are a part of the Pathfinder campaign that Rob is starting, and we are pirates, and it is insane. So if you guys want to stop by on Mando's Kick or on Rob's Rumble, feel free. Thank you, Gibbs, for posting the Rumble link to Trucker Rob's channel. It's a lot of fun. I am enjoying it greatly. So for a quick synopsis, we have a group of people, the three of us included, and basically all of us are insane people except for Gibbons, who's trying to play the game the way the game is designed. And I am enjoying
And
it greatly.
failing miserably. And
It's
failing
amazing.
miserably at it.
It's not your fault
Um,
though. It's just the dice.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
dice
Dice really
are the
hide you.
true gods of Pathfinder and D&D. They say the final words. So yeah, that's on Mondays, every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8:30 Eastern Time, whatever time zones there are, and it's going to be a lot of fun. That is going to be my Kick exclusive on Mondays. I'm putting my pinky toe into Kick. I'm not sure if I'm going to make the switch yet. I'm kind of on the line right now. I'm like, I might do it, I might not. I haven't decided yet. So yeah, that's on Mondays. So please don't miss that. On Tuesdays, for the next 2 Tuesdays, I will be on Jacob Ironside's channel as a guest. We're going to be talking about dinosaurs in Jurassic Park this next Tuesday, and then after that we're going to be doing the Twilight Zone. So for the next couple of Tuesdays, I'll be on my friend Jacob Ironside. Yeah, I've also got Thursdays with my friend Roman of the Empire talking about Ahsoka. Yay.
Fun.
I know. I
Mid.
tuned in for that Ahsoka stream. I tuned in, and it was
It was
it was
something.
sad. It was sad, let me tell you.
I mean, and like Ahsoka's not horrible. It's just not great. But anyway, and on Fridays, hopefully we'll consistently be bringing back Sea of Thieves. And then next Saturday is going to be The Last Wish here. And then periodically throughout the week, I am trying to put more content out on my YouTube channel because I would like for this channel to become monetized in the next couple months. We're at 217 subscribers. I need 500 subscribers to become monetized. So please share out my channel to your friends and to people who maybe will enjoy my content that I'm putting out. And we're trying to
Yeah.
be better. I've got an editor and we're trying to do more things with the channel because I've been letting my YouTube channel suffer, and it's just like I should try and help out my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Amazon has killed
try
me.
and make some content.
Yeah.
Well, and also like eventually if I get this channel like bigger than any of my other channels, like I will primarily switch over to doing YouTube content because it has more opportunities for more monies. And that's the smart thing to do, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I've been told
Well,
anyway.
This has been a fantastic stream, Mando. I just want to quickly thank Maxter and Kuro for jumping on and helping me out. I greatly appreciate that.
Yeah, no, they were great.
Filler content,
They were fantastic.
yeah.
I was here
Yeah.
for the memes.
Yes,
the
Maxter
memes,
is here for the memes.
Agreed. Yeah, that I don't know what the heck happened. AT&T do better. The only other option is the internet company called Cox, and I really don't want to switch back over because that internet also sucked. So who knows? I know Americus is going to have a lot of fun editing this later on for highlight reels. It's gonna be great. So
Later, we can talk about that for a quick second. That just means move to America.
Mhm.
Become an
Yep.
American citizen and have the benefits of that.
Yes.
Yep. All right. See you guys later.
Miss
Bye-bye.
Racist.
Bye bye.
Bye.